Hi everyone! It is I, Uncle Melty, the host of the Metal Meltdown. Please, hold your applause. I mean, you can applaud a little bit if you like, but there's really no need. Listen, Finn McKenty, the punk rock MBA. You know him. You have strong feelings on him. He made a little bit of an uh-oh. He made a little bit of an uh-oh lately. I don't know if you heard. I don't know. But if you didn't, now you do. He made a uh-oh. He did a bad thing. Might have shot his own fucking reputation in the foot. Made a big uh-oh. Maybe. This is like literally so fucking crazy. Oh, God. Drink. Cheers. God damn it. Let's do it. Let's talk about Finn McKenty, the punk rock MBA, the ultimate phony, fraud, grifter, and poser. But first, some context for those of you who hopefully maybe aren't as chronically online as I am. Finn McKenty was born on September 7th, 1978 and grew up in Snohomish, Washington. He started going to hardcore punk shows in December 1990 and began making zines in 1992 in order to talk about bands which deserved more attention according to him. His fanzines received positive reviews from Maximum Rock and Roll, Punk Planet, and Heart Attack, which praised their interviews with underground power violence and grindcore bands, photographs, and graffiti art. At 18, he relocated to Cleveland, Ohio. McKenty studied at the University of Cincinnati. After graduating, McKenty did strategic design at a product development consulting firm and worked for several companies, including Swiffer and Febreze. He also created videos for Quicksilver, DC Shoes, among other brands in the sports publication Flow. Around 2009, he went on to Abercrombie & Finch, where he worked in product design, at some point supervising factories in Asia, and then continued as their marketing production coordinator for several years. Along with his industrial design career, he kept writing in blogs and publications such as Decibel and Terrorizer for approximately a decade. In 2019, he said that the common thread through all I have done is hardcore. Because as we all know, nothing says hardcore quite like supervising sweatshops in Asia on behalf of Abercrombie & Finch. Wow! In June 2015, McKenty established the website The Punk Rock MBA, whose objective is to promote career, business, and life advice for the DIY community. In September 2017, he began uploading YouTube videos primarily analyzing the music industry with a special focus on rock and heavy metal subgenres. Billboard praised the channel for its deep research and endearing DIY production. I better get that same praise because all he did was read off of fucking Wikipedia. That's exactly what I'm doing right now. Billboard, I want that, all right? Hit me up. Where are my accolades? Where are they? I'm also now learning that Finn McKenty was Sergeant D. Like Sergeant D from Stuff You Will Hate and MetalSucks.net. What the fuck? On April 22nd, 2024, he announced his plans to stop making videos on YouTube. I know what some of y'all thinking. Robert, if he hasn't been making videos for a while, why are we only now talking about him? Here's why. He later admitted in a YouTube interview with TikTok influencer Jesse Lee that he stopped creating content because he had met his financial goals with the channel and that he did it, quote, for the money, stating that he has never had an interest in music to begin with. This revelation was met with considerable criticism on social media from viewers of his content and across the wider music scene. I feel like that's putting it lightly. I feel like that's a pretty generous summarization and analysis of the aftermath of Finn McKenty just nuking his entire brand and his reputation for money. Like, wow. Like, I've seen so many comments, so many different posts and videos on TikTok, Threads, Instagram. I've seen so many people chatting in Discord about this, comments on YouTube, videos on YouTube as well. From Dan Frampton, Become the Night, Wyatt XM, Wyatt's Metal, The Metal Tempest, Anthony Fantano himself, also legit music publications and websites and blogs like Lambgoat and Ghost Cult Magazine. There has been so much said about this situation that I'm gonna be honest, I'm not really sure what I can even add to the conversation, but I'm going to try to, because this is important. Finn McKenty, whether you like him or not, is one of the biggest names in the kind of rock metal YouTube space. One of the biggest names making content for this audience, in this scene, for this demographic. And not only is he gone, but also he's claiming he never cared about the music and the scene that he was talking about and that he claimed to represent, and was only doing all of this to make money. That's wild. And that, in my opinion, is pure poser shit. And that's not a word I throw around lightly, or really ever at all. Because in my experience and opinion, the word poser is thrown around so frequently, so often, that it has simply lost all possible meaning. Like, it really takes nothing to be viewed as or deemed a poser within the rock, punk, alternative, and metal music spaces. You like a certain album? Poser. You dislike a certain album? Poser. You acknowledge the existence of queer people? Poser. You have political opinions of any kind, but specifically political opinions that differ from one particular person's political opinions? Poser. You speak about those political opinions openly and willingly? Mega poser. Here are a few really weird and dumb ones. If you do a top 10 list, you're a poser. By that logic, everyone on the internet is a fucking poser. We're all posers. And when all of us are posers, none of us are truly posers. If you don't look and dress metal 24/7, if you do, a promo picture looking like a normal human being or like a nerdy guy, you're a poser. How dare you make metal music and not look like the most metal thing imaginable 24/7? I go to the grocery store adorned in the most metal attire. You don't? Fucking poser. What's that? You've never overdosed on cocaine? You fucking poser. That's a real comment. That's a real comment. What a stupid comment. Everybody laugh at him. That's so fucking stupid. Like, as far as I can see, there's a really good chunk of metalheads online that believe that I am the worst thing to ever exist simply because I do exist. Simply because I do what I do, and I say what I say, and I believe what I believe. And there's no point in trying to change that. I gain nothing from trying to argue with these people. I might as well be talking to a brick fucking wall. Because of shit like this, because the word poser is flung around so frequently, so often, and without rhyme or reason, the word poser has lost almost all meaning to me. But still, I feel pretty comfortable calling Finn McKenty a poser. Because what truly is a poser? A poser is someone who poses, so to speak. Someone who poses as a different person, as a different human being than what they actually are. And in the context of metal, punk, rock, alternative music, a poser is somebody who would have absolutely no interest or knowledge in these scenes, but pretends to. And by Finn McKenty's own admission, he is exactly that. He wasn't just a poser, he was a poser for financial gain. He is a greedy, disingenuous, full-blown culture vulture. These are his words, not mine. I don't have any plans to do anything on YouTube. I don't really have any interest in music. I was just doing it for the money, and I hit my financial goals. Our time on Earth is limited, like, don't spend it doing shit you don't have to do if you don't want to. I don't have to keep making videos about System of a Down. He even goes on to admit later on in this interview that he's never heard anything from System of a Down in any capacity, which, side note, I find genuinely hard to believe. I mean, they had plenty of hit singles back in the day. They're a huge band. They've also got, they've inspired plenty a meme here and there that he absolutely would have encountered in his time doing Twitch live streams and such. So I don't know if I totally buy him, but hey, I'm gonna take him at his word. Cause fuck it. As Maya Angelou once wrote and said, or as I'm now possibly paraphrasing, when people tell you who they are, believe them. Now, it is entirely possible that Finn McKenty is lying a little bit. It's entirely possible that at some point he did care, because the reality is, you don't do this much in this scene for that long if you don't care on some level. Which means one of two things is possible. First off, Finn McKenty never really did ever care, and he did everything for money, including those fanzines, I guess. Or, second, he did care, but he stopped caring. At some point, that fire inside of him died out, and instead of gracefully backing away, he kept at it because he had bills to pay. Finn McKenty is still a phony and a fraud. The only thing that changes is the exact amount of time in which Finn McKenty is a phony and a fraud. Now, there are some other possible components and factors to this equation, some other possibilities and theories. For example, both Dan Frampton and Wyatt X Him have alleged that actually part of the reason why Finn McKenty quit is just that he cannot handle constructive criticism, or really any criticism at all. He can't really handle being shit on. He can't really handle all of the negative press and attention being such a divisive and controversial figure. And there's probably at least an element of truth to that. I mean, I know I've seen him talk about in some videos here and there being bummed out by the reaction towards certain videos that he's done. Personally, I think the truth lies somewhere in the middle, but like leaning towards, you know, him just being brutally honest about who he is right now and who he's always been. Maybe when he was younger, he genuinely cared about punk and rock and metal music and wanted to kind of really talk about these bands and highlight underground music. And, you know, maybe when he was younger, he did care. But the Finn McKenty of the modern day does not. He has told us he does not. He has told us he just wanted to make money. And it's also worth noting that in the immediate aftermath of that interview, when people started to kind of criticize him and talk about him in Discord servers and shit like that, he was very arrogant and dismissive of people's criticisms and claims. Like, here's a very real screenshot, right here. Did you work your shift today at AutoZone for the money or nah? Do you believe in integrity when you put their fries in the bag? What a stupid fucking example. Aesthetic MILF is 110% right. Shout out to Aesthetic MILF. Awesome name, by the way. Like, that is just such a snobby and shitty way to respond to people talking shit about your own fucking words, about your own fucking garbage. For years, Finn McKenty made content for an audience that values authenticity. And his admission that he never cared about rock music at all and that he just wanted to make money is a slap in the face to the people who've supported him over the years and to the scene he claimed to represent. And the fact that he doesn't get that and would respond to those comments in such an arrogant and dismissive way shows how incredibly stupid and selfish he really is. Like, the fact that he does not understand the difference, or at bare minimum dismisses the difference between working a normal shift at a normal job and operating in a creative field is insane. And it says everything about who Finn McKenty really is and always has been. And you know who I feel really bad for right now, honestly? The people who actually watched and supported and defended Finn McKenty and the punk rock MBA. Because those people are fucked beyond belief right now. Must feel right now. These people who went to bat for Finn time and time again, only to find out he never cared about them and was actively pandering to them to make money. He never cared about the music. He never cared about the bands. He never cared about the scene, the culture, or even them. Everything was secondary to his ability to make money. He is a phony and a fraud and a poser. Not because I disagree with him, not because he dresses or looks or talks a certain way, not because he listens to more pop punk, metalcore and post-hardcore and nu metal and trap metal than I do, but because he is fundamentally posing as something he is not. He is posing as somebody who cares about music while being someone who genuinely does not. And once again, those are his words, not mine. We have him on tape, motherfucker. Well, Finn, I hope whatever money you made was worth shredding whatever ounce of reputation and integrity and credibility you had left, because you ain't getting none of that fucking back. Maybe if you're lucky and start to get desperate, you can rebrand yourself in a couple months' time as a full-on right-wing grifter. Why not? You've already grifted one fucking scene and movement. Move on to the next. But, yeah. I got nothing else to say. I'm at a loss. I'm gonna remember this the next time some Music of Destruction looking ass motherfucker yells at a fucking 12-year-old for buying a shirt at Hot Topic. Unfucking believable. Y'all are fucking screaming at the wrong goddamn people. I guess this is the part of the video where I tell you to subscribe and watch other videos and shit. So, yeah, that. Cheers. Go fuck yourself, Finn McKenty.